Wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Oh.
Hi, self-awareness, whose truth? I am your host, Rose. And today I have a very special guest, and I would like to tell you a little about Malik Sealy and his family. I was so hurt and disappointed because then I realized I was attached to it.
Right.
So I went through a lot of changes like that with people, even with my mother and father now, which you read in the book. He's in a nursing home. Right. My mother have a lot of illnesses, and they won't listen to me.
Well, it's interesting you said, because I know while in the book you talk about mother and father and how they inspired you. I know you seen some ups and downs of my family and how you counsel my mother.
Oh yeah.
And my mother, she may get the stuff. I don't know if she always gets everything. It takes a little bit of time to, get these things, But, if anything, I'll just grab the material. I even passed on a DVD to my family. Actually, first of all, I want to thank you for the book, because the book was an excellent book.
Thank you.
You've passed on so many things to my family. That's why I said it's funny. I think in life, I have a saying that people are one of three L's. And I don't say this as a condescending thing, but I think it's reality. You're either a leader, which, everybody aspires to be a leader in different things. It's hopefully spiritual. You're either a learner, or unfortunately, you're a loser. And I tell people, unfortunately, the loser part, that's your fault.
Right.
And the thing that you do is that you pass information to help people either learn, and if they learn the right way, they can become leaders.
Right.
And when you're in that leading position, then you should help other people become leaders. And as I said, with my mother, she's in the learning process right now, which I appreciate. But what happens, a lot of information gets sent down to me, which I definitely take it and I run with it. Because a lot of things that I'm experiencing right now is because of that CD, that tape you gave to us. And I really practice it wholeheartedly. And your book only confirms a lot of those things about the law of attraction. That's like one of the greatest laws. If people understood that law, people wouldn't suffer and struggle so much. So, and I also agree with you in terms of detaching yourself. I'm now probably taking on a stance where people look at me as cold-hearted. And I don't really mean to be. I tell people this all the time. I said, if in the Bible, most religious texts, they talk about how, you have to seek first God, or seek first Allah, seek first Buddha. If you don't seek, I don't think Buddha, Allah, I don't think they're going to be stressed. So I tell people, I don't get stressed either. I'll put it out there. If you don't get it, hey. At first I was very frustrated, but now I don't. I tell people, when you hear about people who become rich financially, or people become rich spiritually, I tell people, the reason why they're wealthy is because they are attracting more of the same thing.
Right.
It's hard for them to talk to you if you're from a poor position.
Right.
And that, as I said, is going as you get, so I have to say older, because I'm getting older. I tell people now I'm getting called more mature.
More mature.
More
right.
mature, okay, as you get more mature. The lessons you learn when you really control your destiny, and everybody has the ability to control their destiny.
Abraham
Hicks.
Abraham Hicks dealing with spirituality, which one of the number one law that they stress on all the tapes, law of attraction.
That's correct.
And the whole spiritual aspect of it, how do you feel right now where you are on your journey?
Okay, and everything like that. The night that Malik, a lot of people, it's just so for the audience, I know people saying, who's this guy? Well, Malik was, we grew up in Valentine Avenue in the Bronx. My brother ended up becoming a pro athlete named Malik Sealy, went to St. John's, and many people know he was killed by a drunk driver. Everybody has a purpose, because it affected me, but it didn't affect me like most people.
Okay.
Because people ask me, you talk about it, I go, hey, I learned some years ago that everybody is going to make the transition, including me. So I became very peaceful with people, anybody passing, even my brother, my mother, one day I decided to have kids. If I have kids, because it's going to happen. But one thing I would say that Malik did do, while he was here, is that Malik also understood universal law, and he was really good at helping some of the peers that he was with. And the reason why I know that because of all the stories that I've heard from a lot of NBA ball players. A lot of people don't know about it, so I'm going to tell some of the truths today, okay, on this show. You know, there's a big thing where all the NBA players do business. Well, we were probably one of the first people to really do a business where we promoted, and now you see NBA ball players like Ron Artest, and there's so many different NBA ball players, I can't mention them, and even well, a lot of them will say if it wasn't for Malik, we would have never done it. Even Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never had a clothing line, and the true story is you know, because we put together a business called Club Athlete where we would take athletes. And the reason why I'm telling the story is because I think it's a good thing.
Right.
You know, we was going to have athletes promote other athletes.
Right.
Well, that's what Jump 23 is. But that was a business concept that we did, and I like the fact that Michael Jordan did do it because now he's a black businessman who's out there now helping people like Rip Hamilton, Derek Jeter. I don't know all of them. There's a whole bunch of them. Magic Johnson. Even before that, Magic Johnson didn't do stuff like that. So on that level, he did serve a purpose because now you have a lot more athletes. And unfortunately in our society, because in your book you talk about how people revere athletes so much, that's sometimes not a good thing because sometimes athletes don't know what to say and do.
Right,
you know, so
right.
and but if you have athletes that are doing something that's empowering the community, and people can grow and become leaders, then
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
So on that level, and that's just one of the many things. Even a person like Kevin Garnett, you know, Malik never knew that Kevin Garnett, which many people know is one of the superstars of the NBA, that he idolized Malik as a kid. And the story Malik told me is that Malik first went to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he said he remember when he was in practice, and Kevin used to stare at him. Why is this guy thinking, no, Kevin's a superstar? And he later went to Kevin's house, and Kevin had like books of just pictures of Malik and the kid. And the story he told Malik is how you never know how you affect people. He was playing a Rutgers tournament. Kevin was 12 years old. Malik is like 6 years older than Kevin. And he saw Malik come off the sideline and started speaking. And Kevin felt self-conscious about himself. He was a tall, dark-skinned kid, and he felt he wasn't attractive. He said, "Why this guy Malik is tall like me, he's dark-skinned like me, and he speaks with confidence." He said, "You know what? I want to be like Malik Sealy." So Kevin said, "Des, from the time I was 12 years old, to even to the day, he said everything about your brother. I studied your brother's hairstyle, the way your brother dressed, the way your brother played." He said, and that's why we're number 21, because that was really Malik's number. And when Malik came to even to the Timberwolves, Kevin was still kind of, you know, and he'll say this, Kevin says it himself, so I'm not saying anything he didn't say. He said, I really didn't even talk to the general public. Your brother made me go to the Minnesota Mall, sit down, and we would sign autographs for hours. He said, I never did anything like that before because I was shied away from people. He said, so many lessons your brother gave to me as an adult, even in terms of how Kevin meditates before the game. You know,
yeah, your mother was telling me.
You know,